Art, in any form, will always express emotions. These emotions are typically implied by the artist. They use different techniques to express themselves, such as their choice of colors, textures, shapes and lines, and the subject they are using for their artwork. Us, the viewer, can also add our own emotions to whatever artwork we are looking at, depending on how we interpret the art and how we are feeling about the art. According to Wikipedia, under art and emotion, emotional responses are often regarded as the keystone to experiencing art, and the creation of an emotional experience has been argued as the purpose of artistic expression. So, emotions are very important for art because this is what makes art a unique medium, and emotions also add meaning to the piece of art for the viewers to relate to. For this Art Critic video, I will be talking about two artworks from a museum. One piece is from the late 19th century, and the other is from the early 20th century. I virtually visited the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, France, and found two early paintings that caught my eye. The paintings that I chose were La Toilette and Rest. La Toilette was painted in 1889 by Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec, and Rest was painted in 1905 by Wilhelm Hammershøi. I picked these two paintings because they both expressed the same emotion to me. Even though these two paintings came from two different artists from different countries, they made very similar pieces of art in my eye. Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec was born on November 24th, 1864 in Albi, France. He was a French artist that was famous for his paintings and posters. Toulouse-Lautrec suffered from disabilities and emotional trauma from his family. When Toulouse-Lautrec was younger, he broke both his femurs, stunting his growth later in his years. He had a full-grown torso, but his legs were childlike. Having this disability while in school forced him to sit out and not participate in physical activities enjoyed by kids his age. Being lonely in his early years led him to be more involved in art. However, his father never supported and accepted him choosing this path to be a professional artist. Toulouse-Lautrec moved to Paris to live a bohemian lifestyle to pursue his career in art. He became one of the most important artists during this time. When I first saw his painting, La Toilette, I thought of loneliness. Having a history of being lonely and going through traumatic events, I believe that this painting can reflect his loneliness. The colors he used were mostly muted colors, like whites, grays, browns, and blacks. All these main colors reflect coldness and depression to me. Having the subject turned away and on the floor adds to the emotion that they are lonely and don't want to be seen. Also, Toulouse-Lautrec paints with a loose brushwork. Even though the painting and subject seems like a still scene, having a loose brushwork creates movement and actions in the painting. These actions can be internal for the subject and the painter when dealing with traumatic events, taking action to move forward and realizing there are ways to overcome obstacles in life, just like how Toulouse-Lautrec pursued his career in art. Wilhelm Hammershøi was born on May 15, 1864 in Copenhagen, Denmark. Hammershøi grew up in a well-put home, having his father be a merchant and his mother being very wealthy. Hammershøi was always interested in art and showed great talent early in his life. He studied and worked with many great artists at a very young age. At the age of 8, his mother put him into training to study drawing. Later on, Hammershøi painted mostly interiors, portraits, and architecture. In 1891, Hammershøi married Ida Ilsted, and she has been his main model for his paintings. Ilsted can be seen in many of his paintings, just like in the painting Rest, painted in 1905. When I first saw Rest, I felt uncomfortable. Having the subject look away and not being able to see a face is unsettling to me. I feel uncomfortable with this painting because I do not know what this subject is thinking about and why she's sitting at a table alone. This subject, Hammershøi's wife, is sitting alone at a table looking off into a wall or down at the floor. The color also adds to the mysterious emotion. Hammershøi uses muted colors such as whites, browns, grays, and blacks. These colors are not vibrant at all, which gives a more melancholy feeling to the painting. He also uses loose brush strokes in this painting, adding movement and making the painting look unfinished. With all these elements, I can say this painting expresses loneliness. These two paintings I have covered in this video are very similar, from the elements used in the paintings to the feelings the paintings express. Both paintings, for me, expressed a sense of loneliness and confusion. Having your back towards the viewer can signify depression and loneliness. I would say that these two paintings were culturally significant because they showed people and many artists that they can paint a portrait without showing the face in a frame. Portrait paintings before were mostly showing the subject frontal, in an angle, or their side profile. Showing the rear of someone in a portrait is unfamiliar and strange. This enriches our understanding of the world around us because now we can see people's emotions by their posture and how they present themselves in the real world. From Wide Walls, a website online, Patina Lee stated how 20th century art was developing over the years. There is no doubt that the 20th century art was all about changing perspective. The artist's way of seeing and therefore understanding things has been changing and continues to do so even in this day and age. The new experimental approach to perspective was pursued both directly and implicitly. Henry de Toulouse-Lautrec and Wilhelm Hammershøi did have a different perspective on art and experimented with models and emotions. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed it.